There comes a moment in each of our lives when we step beyond the known, beyond the comfortable, and into a space of deeper truth. This is a moment where your readiness meets divine timing. Today is such a moment. You felt the stirring inside, the pull toward knowing more, becoming more, and forgiving more deeply. I shouldn't be teaching this to someone who's unprepared, but you are no longer that person. You are ready now, ready to rise, to expand, and to embody the truth of who you truly are. There is a quiet power within you, one that might sometimes seem invisible, overshadowed by doubt or buried beneath the weight of life's challenges, but it is always there, pulsing, steady and clear. You are stronger than you realize, stronger than the memories that haunt you, the words that wounded you, or the disappointments that left you questioning your worth. Your strength isn't always loud. It doesn't have to be. It shows itself in the moments you rise when you'd rather collapse, in the way you keep loving, even with a heart that's been broken before. Perhaps you've stood in front of a mirror and not seen the warrior staring back at you. Maybe you've looked at others and admired their resilience without ever pausing to acknowledge your own. But the truth is you have survived what would have crushed many. You have walked through storms, through grief so heavy it felt like it would swallow you whole. And yet here you are, breathing, learning, growing, not because life has been gentle, but because your spirit has been unshakable. Your strength can be seen in the way you keep showing up for life, even on days when your confidence wavers, even when you're carrying pain that others cannot see. Every time you choose hope in spite of fear, every time you give yourself a fresh beginning, you are exercising a sacred strength that comes from your soul. And it is not defined by how perfectly you respond to adversity, but by your willingness to rise again after you fall. Think about how many times you've felt lost, yet somehow found the courage to keep going. Think about the countless moments you sat with your own loneliness, your own confusion, and still chose not to abandon yourself. That's strength. It's not measured by how loudly you roar, but by how persistently you whisper, "I will not give up." And it's okay if you didn't always feel strong. Sometimes your strength showed up through your tears, through the simple act of making it through another day, through the prayer you whispered when you had no one else to talk to, through the small moments when you smiled, even though your heart was aching. These are not signs of weakness. They are testaments to your resilience. In a world that constantly measures strength by outward results, achievements, and stoicism, it's easy to forget that real strength begins within. Real strength is not something you perform. It's something you embody. It's not something you prove. It's something you live. It is the gentle voice that tells you to forgive yourself, the quiet courage that allows you to begin again, even when you're afraid. The inner knowing that despite it all, you are still worthy of love. Not because of what you have or haven't done, but because of who you are. And who you are is incredible. Your soul knows how to endure, how to heal, how to transform. Everything you've walked through, your losses, your doubt, your heartbreak, your triumphs, has built a foundation within you that cannot be destroyed. That foundation is made of lessons you didn't even know you were learning at the time. It's made of the love you gave, even when it wasn't returned. It's made of your courage to still believe, even in the smallest possibility of joy or change. You may feel tired, and that's okay. Even the strongest souls need rest. But let this be your reminder, your strength has not left you. It is in your breath. It is in your silence. It is in your choice right now to keep going, to believe in healing, to trust that a better chapter is ahead, even if you cannot see it yet. Allow yourself to celebrate the strength that has carried you this far. We often wait for the big victories to applaud ourselves. But the truth is, your strength has been quietly saving you in 100 small ways, day after day. It has held your heart together when it felt like it was breaking. It has given you hope when things felt impossible. It has carried you into this moment, the moment where you finally hear the truth. You are stronger than you realize. Let your soul receive these words. Let them sink into the places where you've doubted. Let them remind you that you are not fragile. You are powerful. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not behind. You are right on time. And every step of your journey, even the painful ones, have only made you stronger, more compassionate, more fearless, more you. So breathe deep, beautiful soul. Stand tall, not because you've never fallen, but because you always rise. This strength is not something you have to earn. It's something you've always had, and now it's time to embrace it fully. Life has a way of shaping us in ways we often don't recognize until much later. Every day, every moment, every experience, whether it felt joyful or painful, has been part of a larger design. Life has been preparing you. It may not have seemed fair, it may not have been gentle, and it certainly wasn't always easy. But every single step of your journey has mattered. Every chapter has served a purpose, and you have been learning, growing, and evolving into the person you were meant to be all along. Think back for a moment. Remember the challenges that came out of nowhere and shook your world. The moments when your heart broke, when you felt abandoned, misunderstood, or lost. At the time, you may have thought, why is this happening to me? But now looking back with clearer eyes, you can see that every struggle taught you something vital. Patience, self-worth, boundaries, strength, compassion, insight. Those moments were not your undoing. They were your becoming. Life doesn't give us what we want. It gives us what we need. Sometimes what we need is contrast. We need the wrong job to realize our true passion. We need the heartbreak to learn how deeply we can love. We need to be left alone so we can hear our own voice again. We need disappointment so we can learn to depend on our own inner wisdom. These experiences don't come to punish you. They come to prepare you, to shape you into someone who knows their worth, who doesn't settle for less, who trusts their intuition, and who understands the sacred turning points hidden inside pain. You might not have recognized it then, but life was growing you. It was asking you to dig deeper, to question more honestly, to rise more bravely. And even when you thought you'd broken, something inside of you held on. Something inside of you kept believing, kept moving, kept hoping. That was strength. And that strength was not random. It was built. It was cultivated moment after moment, breath after breath. Life has been preparing you to love yourself in ways no one ever taught you. It has been preparing you to release what no longer serves you, to stop measuring your worth by how others treat you, to reclaim the parts of you that you silenced for too long. You weren't meant to stay small. You weren't meant to carry shame or guilt or unhealed wounds forever. Life has been guiding you, sometimes softly and sometimes through storms, to realize that you are more powerful than anything you've faced. Even the waiting periods, those slow, uncertain seasons when nothing seemed to happen, were not wasted. They were sacred pauses. In silence, life was preparing your spirit, teaching you patience, trust, and surrender, reminding you that everything unfolds when the time is right, not when you force it. All the while, the universe was rearranging things behind the scenes, planting seeds and aligning circumstances that would one day make sense to you. You didn't go through all that for nothing. You didn't fall and get back up countless times just to stay stuck. The lessons you learned were the tools you needed. The heartbreak you survived taught you how to heal. The disappointment you faced taught you how to let go. The confusion you navigated helped you build clarity. You have been prepared not just to survive, but to thrive. There is a version of you now that didn't exist before, a version that feels more anchored, more aware, more aligned. It is because life prepared you. It stripped away what was false so that what is true could rise. It challenged your outer world so your inner world could grow strong. And now you stand here, not perfect, but ready. Ready for what comes next. Ready to walk in your truth. Ready to receive what belongs to you. You may still have doubts. That's okay. Healing takes time. Growth is a process. But trust this, nothing was wasted. You have not been overlooked or forgotten. Life was shaping you into someone who could hold more peace, more love, more purpose. Every tear watered your roots. Every heartbreak opened your heart. Every delay prepared your destiny. Life has been preparing you For exactly this moment, you are not behind, you are not broken, you are becoming. Trust the journey, trust the timing, trust yourself, because the version of you that exists now is powerful enough to create a future that honors everything you have endured and everything you have dreamed of. The time you've been waiting for is not far off. It's already happening right here, in your awakening, in your remembrance, in your readiness. There comes a moment in life when holding on becomes heavier than letting go. A moment when the stories you've been telling yourself no longer feel true, no longer feel aligned, no longer feel like they fit the person you're becoming. It's in that moment, quiet but profound, that a sacred invitation appears to let go of the old scripts, to release what no longer serves you, to say goodbye to the narratives you once needed to survive but now need to leave behind in order to grow. You've carried these scripts for a long time, stories that whispered you weren't enough, voices that told you to stay quiet, to play small, to accept less than you deserved. Maybe they came from parents, from teachers, from culture, from heartbreak. Or maybe they grew inside your own mind, formed during moments of fear and uncertainty. At one time, these stories made you feel safe. They kept you from stepping into unknown territory. They helped you make sense of confusion, but that time has passed. Now, these stories are no longer protection. They are limitation. They don't reflect who you are anymore. In fact, they never truly did. You are not the mistakes you've made. You are not the labels others gave you. You are not the outcome of someone else's poor choices. And you are not the voice in your mind that constantly questions your worth. You are more, much more. Letting go is not easy. It takes courage to confront the stories you've been living, to look at them honestly and realize, this is not mine anymore. It takes vulnerability to say, I choose differently now. But you must know, letting go is not giving up. It's giving yourself space to breathe, to expand, to rewrite. Old scripts have a way of looping. They tell the same limiting story on repeat. They say things like, you'll never be loved unless you change. You're not smart enough. You're too much. You're not enough. You don't deserve happiness. Your dreams are too big. But listen closely. Those aren't truths. They're echoes of old pain. And you are healing now. You are waking up. You're beginning to remember that you are allowed to release what was written from someone else's fear. When you let go of old scripts, something magical happens. You start to hear your own voice again, the true one, the voice that knows your worth is not negotiable, the voice that knows anything is possible when you believe in yourself, the voice that gently says, you are allowed to begin again. This voice has always been inside you. It just got buried under the noise of old stories. Letting go isn't just emotional, it's energetic. Every thought you release makes room for new ones. Every belief you shed frees up space for something more aligned. Let this be your release. You don't have to carry shame or regret. You don't have to replay old hurts or rehearse the worst case scenario just because that's what you were taught. You don't have to live according to who you were. You get to decide who you are now. Your past is not a prison, it's a passage. It shaped you, yes, but it does not define your future. You are allowed to rewrite the script. You are allowed to change your narrative. You are allowed to say, I am not who I used to be. I am not bound by the limitations I once accepted. I am free. It's time to honor the person you are becoming, the person who is open, aware, conscious, the one who is learning to lead with love instead of fear. You are stepping into a new chapter, and it cannot coexist with the old one. This is your moment to choose freedom, to release the weight, to trust that what lies ahead is worth more than anything you're leaving behind. Let go of the script that says you're unworthy. It's a lie. Let go of the story that says you need to earn love. You already are love. Let go of the belief that you're too late. You're right on time. Let go of the voice that says you're alone. You are supported in every unseen way. Let go of the fear that says you can't do it. You already are doing it by choosing to believe in yourself again. Let this be your affirmation. I am not defined by my past. I am free to choose again. I release all stories that do not honor who I am. I trust my journey, my growth, and my becoming. Take a deep breath. Feel the lightness that comes with letting go. You are not here to live an old script. You are here to write a brand new story, one that reflects your truth, your power, and your infinite potential. It's time. You are ready. Let the old go. Step into the new. And watch your life transform in ways that once felt impossible. There is a sacred truth that whispers beneath the surface of every experience, every thought, every manifestation. What you believe, you create. Your beliefs are not just ideas in your mind. They are seeds that blossom into the reality you live. They are the lens through which you view yourself, the world, and your place within it. And whether you realize it or not, those beliefs are constantly shaping your life. Every thought holds energy. Repeated thoughts become beliefs, and beliefs create momentum. When you believe you're worthy, the world begins to reflect that back to you. When you believe you're forgotten, you unconsciously pull back from possibility. The universe listens, not to what you hope for, but to what you repeatedly affirm, consciously or unconsciously. This is the incredible power of your mind. It can create limitations, or it can create abundance. Think of a garden. If you plant seeds of doubt, you will harvest fear. If you plant seeds of self-criticism, your life will feel like it's filled with obstacles. Not because you're unworthy, but because the soil of your belief system has been conditioned to grow weeds instead of wildflowers. But the garden can be changed. The soil can be nourished. The seeds can be replanted. The same is true of your inner landscape. When you begin to shift what you believe about yourself, your circumstances begin to shift too. The world adjusts itself according to your inner frequency. If you say, I am capable, you begin to move in ways that support that belief. You make decisions that align with empowerment. You allow opportunities to flow. But if you say, nothing good ever lasts for me, you unknowingly shut doors before they even open. This is why awareness is so important. You cannot change what you do not observe. The truth is, you were born with a powerful creative capacity. But somewhere along the way, you were taught to doubt it. Taught to trust external voices more than your internal wisdom, taught to believe in limitations instead of infinite possibility. But your soul never forgot. Deep down, a quiet knowing remains. You are co-creating your life every moment. Sometimes belief doesn't come easily. You may have lived through experiences that left you afraid to trust. You may have been told that your dreams were unrealistic, or that you were asking for too much, but hear this, your beliefs are yours to reclaim. You are not bound to outdated fear-based thinking. You have the power right now to choose what to believe. And with that, you begin to shift what you create. Start where you are. Begin with one belief. It could be as simple as saying, I am learning to trust myself, or I am worthy of good things, or life supports me in every moment. At first, your mind may resist. It might say that's not true, but don't stop. Keep planting the seeds, water them with repetition, nourish them with love, and soon the soil will begin to shift. The old weeds will fall away, and a new crop will begin to grow, rooted in truth, not fear. You are always manifesting, not just with intention, but with belief. So ask yourself gently, what am I believing about myself, about love, about abundance, about healing? And if the answers bring sadness or tension, that's okay. Because awareness is transformation. You can choose again. You can affirm a new truth. You can create a new reality. Imagine waking up each day believing that life loves you, that every experience is guiding you, that every disappointment was preparing you, that you don't have to chase anything, not love, not success, not validation, because what is meant for you is already being drawn to you. Imagine living with that belief. Imagine the peace it would bring, the freedom, the joy. That is what becomes possible when your beliefs align with your highest self. You are not too late to begin. You are not too damaged. You are not too far gone. Your beliefs are not permanent. They are flexible, and every day gives you the chance to rewrite them, to release the stories that were formed from trauma, misunderstanding, and fear, and embrace the truths that your soul has always known. Let this be your quiet revolution. Let this be your beginning. You are creating your life with every belief you hold, so choose the ones that honor your wholeness. Choose the ones that nurture your power. Choose the ones that bring peace to your heart and love to your life. You are not merely surviving your reality, you are shaping it. Moment by moment, thought by thought, belief by belief. What you believe, you create, and now with awareness and intention, you get to choose what comes next. Healing is not a destination, it's a journey, a sacred act of returning to yourself. And at the heart of this journey lies one great truth. Healing is an act of self-love, not self-pity, not avoidance, not distraction, but love, gentle, patient, grounding, and true. Healing asks you to tend to your wounds, not with judgment, but with compassion. It asks you to sit with your pain, not to suppress it, but to understand it, to honor the part of you that was hurt, and to give it the love it never received. For so long, you may have believed that healing meant forgetting, moving on, being strong enough to pretend nothing happened. But that's not healing, that's burying. True healing isn't about pretending the wound isn't there. It's about giving yourself permission to feel what you feel without shame, without rushing the process. It's saying to your hurt, you are allowed, you are seen, you are worthy of care. You were never meant to carry your pain alone. You were never meant to silence your inner voice just to keep peace with others. Healing begins when you choose yourself, when you make the brave decision to value your inner peace more than the opinions or expectations of others. And that decision, though it may seem small, is a powerful act of self-love. Healing is not linear. Some days you will feel light, free from old pain, open to new beginnings, and other days you might feel pulled back into grief, into doubt, into memories that still sting. But both days are part of the process. Both are sacred. Healing asks you to trust yourself even when you feel broken, to hold yourself tenderly even when you feel lost, to believe in your ability to rise, even when you have fallen many times before. There is no timeline for healing, no finish line to race toward. The beauty of healing is not in arriving, it's in learning to honor yourself along the way, to choose rest when your body is tired, to speak truth when your voice trembles, to say no when your soul aches for peace. Healing invites you to rewrite the narrative, to tell yourself a new story, one in which you are not a victim of your circumstances, but the author of your rising. Let yourself feel. That is where healing begins. Feel the grief, the anger, the confusion. Let it move through you, not to stay forever, but to be released. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot release what you never allowed yourself to feel. Healing is not about being over it. It's about fully processing what happened, learning what must be learned, and then letting go with grace. This is how you reclaim your power. Healing also requires forgiveness, but not the kind you've been taught. Forgiveness is not about excusing the harm or forgetting what happened. It is about freeing yourself from the weight of resentment. It's saying, I will not carry this pain any longer, not because it wasn't real, but because I choose peace. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It is a doorway back into your own freedom. And healing takes love, deep love, fierce love, a love that says, I am worthy of tenderness even when I feel broken. A love that whispers to the inner child within you, you are safe. You are seen, you matter. Healing is a homecoming. It's remembering that your worth was never damaged, that your wholeness was never lost. It was only covered under layers of pain, of fear, of survival. But now slowly and gently, you are uncovering it again. The more you heal, the more compassion you gain, not just for yourself, but for others. You begin to see that everyone carries invisible wounds. That kindness, not judgment, is the true language of the heart. Healing doesn't make you perfect. It makes you real. It makes you present. It makes you capable of giving and receiving love in deeper, more authentic ways. So breathe, rest, take your time. Each moment you choose to show up for yourself is an act of healing. Each tear you allow to fall is a release. Each boundary you set is an affirmation, I matter. Healing is self-respect. Healing is liberation. Healing is love in its purest form, love directed inward. You don't have to rush it. You don't have to do it all at once. Just keep choosing yourself. Keep choosing love. And remember, every step you take, no matter how small, is moving you further toward freedom. This is your journey, and you are doing it beautifully. There is a quiet, powerful truth that describes your place in this world. The universe trusts you, not because you are perfect, not because you've never made mistakes, but because your soul carries a wisdom that cannot be measured by time or circumstance. You are not placed on this earth by accident. You are chosen, prepared, and guided every step of the way for something only you could carry. And the universe, in its infinite wisdom, believed you were ready. The universe trusts you with your journey. It gives you lessons not as punishment, but as preparation. It places dreams in your heart, not to tease you, but to awaken you. It allows challenges to come, not to break you, but to build you. When the path gets hard, it's easy to question why, but know this: the universe never doubts your capacity to rise. Even when you doubt yourself, you have walked through things that felt too heavy to bear. You've stood at the edge of despair and still found a way forward. You've been hurt in ways you didn't deserve, yet you still know how to love. You've been knocked down more times than you can count, but you find ways to get back up, again and again. This is why the universe trusts you, because you carry the spirit of someone who doesn't give up. You carry the resilience of someone who continues to learn, heal, and grow. You may not always feel strong. You may not always see the purpose behind what you're facing, but trust that everything you have lived through has been part of a larger design. You are not just surviving, you are evolving. You are expanding your capacity to love, to understand, to embody compassion and grace. The universe knows what you're capable of, even on the days you forget. There is a reason doors close, a reason relationships end, a reason certain paths suddenly shift. Not because you are unworthy, but because something greater is being aligned. The universe trusts you to walk away when you need to let go when something no longer serves your soul, to create space for what is truly meant for you. It trusts that you will not settle, not because you're stubborn or unrealistic, but because your heart knows what true alignment feels like. The universe trusts you with your dreams. It gave them to you for a reason. They are not random. They are part of your soul's purpose, even if the path to them isn't clear yet, even if it feels impossible. Dreams are not given to taunt you. They are given to grow you, to invite you into a deeper, more powerful version of yourself. And the universe trusts that with time, you will step into that alignment fully. Sometimes trust looks like waiting. Sometimes trust looks like surrender. Sometimes trust looks like taking a leap without knowing where you'll land. The universe doesn't demand certainty from you. It asks for faith. Faith in your journey, faith in your timing, faith in your ability to move forward even when the way is unclear. You have that faith within you, even if it feels faint at times. You were not brought this far to be abandoned. You were not given the burdens you carry because you are weak, but because your soul is ready to transform them into light. The universe trusts you with your healing. It trusts you to forgive, not to excuse what happened, but to free yourself. It trusts you to choose love over fear. It trusts you to rise even when life tries to pull you down. And here's the beautiful part. The moment you start trusting yourself as deeply as the universe trusts you, everything changes. The doubt loosens. The resistance softens. You begin to move with purpose instead of fear. You begin to believe in your worth, not because someone else told you to, but because something within you finally remembers. Yes, there will be uncertainty. There will be days when nothing makes sense. But there will also be moments, quiet, sacred moments, when you feel the truth in your bones. I am guided. I am supported. I am trusted. And that truth carries you through the darkest seasons towards something luminous, something meaningful, something meant just for you. So breathe. You don't have to rush. You don't have to prove anything. You simply have to keep showing up with faith in your heart and gratitude in your soul. Trust is a two-way street, and the universe has already chosen to meet you halfway. It trusts your heart, your journey, your spirit. Now you get to trust yourself enough to step into the fullness of who you are becoming.